But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What are
Yes.
you here for?
We're here to go back in time yet again. This would be April of 2019. And this is a weekend that this was our very first weekend that we traveled to meet people.
I think you're right.
Yeah. And so we drove up to Atlanta for a 3-day weekend to spend the weekend with the couple that we talked about in episode 9. And this is the couple that we just kind of accidentally bumped into at the naked pool party at Naughty in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And we just totally vibed with them. And we wound up going out to dinner at Felix's with them. We wound up going to Colette with them. This is the couple that this was our first time ever getting kind of split up so that we were playing separately.
Yeah.
I mean, you had played separately with your single guys,
right.
But this is the first time that we, as a couple, you were in one place and I was in the other, and we were both playing at the same time.
And it was accidental.
And it was it really was completely accidental.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to that episode, it's really funny. Yeah, she grabbed him and said, "We're going to go in here." And
I did not put up a fight.
Tristan was like, "Okay." All right. And he grabbed me and said, "Well, we're going to go somewhere else." And I said, "Okay." Yeah. And then we thought, oh, gee, we weren't going to do that.
Yeah, we maybe should have talked about that first.
But it's okay. They're safe. We know where everybody is. So, yeah. So this is that couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're very dear friends still, actually.
Yes, to this day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we've seen them a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much. So so this was our first kind of going and meeting people that we had met in the lifestyle to go spend fun, sexy playtime and visit them and stay at their house. Mm-hmm. And it was scary.
Yeah, that's because that's a huge commitment, and there's a lot of potential for that to go wrong. And so we don't do as we say, but not as we do, sort of thing. Because we have told people in the past, really don't do this unless you're really, really super comfortable with a couple. We felt that we were comfortable enough to pull that off, and it turns out we were right. But there's a lot of potential for this to go wrong, and so just be careful if if you're thinking about a trip like this with people. We've been with them a couple of times,
right?
But all in New Orleans and all in that.
Sexy, hormone enhanced vibe.
So you don't know how it's going to be when you get out of that and into regular swinger life.
Well, I remember when we were preparing for this trip, and I don't know if we talk about it in the audio or not, because we'll listen when we hear the audio, but I remember we were talking about it and we're like, well, what are we going to do besides have sex? Because I don't think you can have sex for 3 days straight. And it's like, we actually have to. And actually, he was the one that kept saying, we can't have sex the whole time. And I'm like, well, I don't know what your refractory period is, but mine just never really ends. So sorry. But whatever. Then we had to go eat and do other things. And, actually, we did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We pretty much ate and had sex.
Yeah, we ate and had sex. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty much it.
It was a great weekend.
It was.